Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture for November 19th of 2025 is titled Chamaeleon Dark Nebulas. So what do we see here? Well, looking at the constellation of the Chamaeleon down far in the southern hemisphere, we see almost a V shape of dust in space. Now, the dust is part of a dark nebula, and dark nebulae are regions where there is enough material that blocks out the light from behind it, so we cannot see through it. So this is hard to see directly. Normally we see it through the fact that it is blocking out light from behind. Now, in this case, we can actually see it. It's a very long exposure, and that allows us to see the faint light that is actually emitted by the dust itself. It tends to be emitting a lot of infrared light and the very long wavelength red light very close to that. And that gives it this brown color when we see it. So a very long exposure like this can bring that out. Now, very distinctly different there is the very bright color of the blue star known as Beta Chamaeleon, and that is a relatively hot star. We can tell that by the color. The hot blue stars are giving off more short wavelengths of light and therefore will appear blue in color to our eyes. They're giving off a lot more blue light, which is a shorter wavelength than the longer wavelength red light. Now, if you wonder where the dust comes from, it's actually formed in the atmospheres of stars. Not ordinary stars like our sun, which are much too hot for this to occur, but very large cool stars, giant and supergiant stars, have a very cool temperature and are very large. And in the outer reaches of that atmosphere, they can start to build up small particles. Instead of just having individual atoms or molecules, they can build up a little bit larger because of their much cooler temperatures. And therefore, we start to build up little grains of material. And in this case, they are generally grains of carbon or silicon, which end up getting a coat of icy material on them. And that ice would be things like water, ammonia, and methane. And that'll build these little tiny things, much smaller than what we think of as dust when we talk about ordinary household dust. These particles are much smaller. But then there are billions of them scattered over this region, which allows them to actually be visible. Now, while we're looking at most of this as a dark nebula and stars within our own galaxy, if you look down just below Beta Chamaeleon, you can actually see another galaxy. There is a bright white dot there, which is actually a distant galaxy that just happens to be located in this direction, well beyond everything else that we're seeing in this image. So that was our picture of the day for November 19th of 2025. It was titled Chamaeleon Dark Nebulas. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture. So until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.